Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Okay, we've got some champion buffs coming in the patch this week, alongside the new Chimera, alongside the relic system, all that type of stuff. So tons, honestly, going on in this time here at Raid. We're going to go through two champions who absolutely do need a buff. And one of them, a decent chunk of us are going to have if you played the game for any length of time. So that's pretty good, actually. Before we do it, there is shard events as ever kicking in tomorrow and Wednesday. I'll just give you kind of like some highlights here. Tomorrow, and it's a progressive chance, so it's like that 15 to 20 to 25. I'd imagine most people don't have shards left after the weekend, so it's pretty irrelevant to most people. And also, you probably don't want to pull your shards in these events unless you are, you know, like an endgame player or somebody who just pulls shards all the time. But we do have Duchess in the mix tomorrow. The new guy, Crackling, the Blackened, who is, I think it's a new ogre, right? Is in the mix tomorrow. This guy, trying to remember if he's good or not. Decrease accuracy. Might end up being reasonable for the new Chimera. We'll see, I guess. Ultimate Death Knight's in the mix for tomorrow. In terms of Void legendaries, there is, yes, Senna Amberheart, who is pretty damn sweet, honestly, for Hydro. It's hearing quite a lot of decent Hydra teams. Essensa as well is in the mix. AoE drop defense and weaken. Place is a poison cloud. That's this one. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so those two are available tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, let me just see if there's any like standouts. Wednesday, Pythion's in there from a legendary point of view. Freya is in there as well. And then Voids, you've got Cardiel, Necrit, and Claydna. So decent, but again, I don't feel like many people, unless you are specifically looking for those champs, are going to be pulling shards tomorrow. Okay, let's talk about the two champions then that are getting buffs. So first one up is someone actually I don't own, but I'm not too sad that I don't own them as it is right now, because they kind of suck. So hopefully this changes things. So Gamuran, you know, kind of known really. He's got block active skills. Kind of known for this A3. If the target is dead already, puts block revive on them and then attacks all enemies. That's kind of like his thing. Okay. Trouble is, it's so, you'd almost rather just bring someone in who can kill someone and put block revive on them. Like, why would you bring someone in who's doing it in this way? Okay. So that's his thing. He's also got a revive here on a passive, but again, it's like each time an enemy is killed. So it's a kind of a similar, I guess, to like a Lydia type thing, but in a different way. But yeah, it's too situational. Everything about his kit at the moment is just a bit blah. So what are they doing to this guy? The upcoming changes, our goal is to improve Gamuran's support capabilities, granting him more opportunities to revive dead allies and cause havoc upon the living opponents. So for the A1, still a double hitter. Each hit, 30% chance of placing block active skills. They've just changed this to be 2-turn block active skills. That is going to be relevant potentially to the Chimera, where one of the forms you can actually put this on. Maybe. But only if the rest of his kit makes some sense, honestly. So we'll see. It's a good skill, by the way. It's one of the few ways that you can actually stop mythicals from transforming. So block active skills is okay, but he needs a good rest of his kit for that to be any good. So the A2 attacks all enemies, 80% chance of stealing one random buff. It's going to change to stealing all buffs from each enemy. Significant. You know, we just spoke about Skeletor yesterday in my video, me basically saying he's not strong enough. Like there's buff mechanics where they're just way stronger out there. This becomes one of those, by the way. 80% will book up to 100% to steal all buffs from each enemy. And then we got here, after stealing, applies a buff spread effect, taking all buffs from this champion and placing them on all allies. Taking all buffs, that's just going to be the, rather than a random buff, all buffs from this champion and placing them on all allies. So he's going to steal everything away that he can, spread it to your whole team. That's a decent change. That's a kind of crazy change, honestly. Damn. Does that mean like pairing with He-Man and He-Man just suddenly gets like the 10 buff multiplier potentially? Don't know, man. That's a pretty crazy change. We like it. Okay. A3. A3, they're not changing at all. They're just reducing the cooldown here to 5. So it'll be on a 3-turn cooldown. So it will still be press the target, they get block revived, and then you go in and try and true fear the enemy. I guess the good thing here is suddenly he's got a role. So you're not trying to build him to do damage. You're not like the tactical enemy's kind of irrelevant. You're trying to just build him to buff steal and protect, lock out enemies, and then if someone gets killed on the team, you block revive and hopefully you true fear other people. It's interesting. I wonder whether people think he's good enough still. It is interesting. Okay, and then his passive. So they changed his passive up a bit here. Revives one random ally is the same when someone is killed. Then it's changed for the second part to revives one random ally with 30% HP and turn meter each time a block revive debuff is placed on an enemy. So if he does this, he actually revives someone as well. So, I mean, it's pure PvP. Basically, it's a PvP thing. And if you're in a position where someone's dead, you're kind of in trouble anyway. But still, it's way more effective. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is this now going to get him out of your vault or not? I'm really interested in people that enjoy PvP. Full buff steal and spread. Block revive on someone who's already dead. And then that also enables you now to revive someone on your team. Is it enough? Let me know. So the second champ here is someone that a lot of us have got. So this dude, what's he known for? He's known as being like a big healer. Yeah, he's a massive amount of healing going on. Heals everywhere. Heals, heals, heals. And then applies, removes block buffs and heal reduction as well. So he's kind of like a bit of a buff removal, but it's very situational. And then otherwise, he's one of the best healers in the game. But there's not really content that wants someone who's just a healer in the game. That's his problem. So they say here, we wanted to improve Opardin's abilities as a... Hold on a minute. We wanted to improve Opardin Clanfather's capabilities as a dedicated healer. What? He's already a crazy healer. And support champion. Okay, so what are they doing here? A1. Attacks an enemy 2 times. Each hit, 50% chance of decreasing turn meter by 10%. So double this. And 50% chance of filling his turn meter by 10%. So double, but probably that's not going to make a difference to whether we like this guy or not. Albeit 20% turn meter drop on his A1 now. It's okay, I guess. But yeah, still, that's not going to make us choose this guy. A2, attacks all enemies. Heals all allies by 20% of his HP. We're going to double bubble heal out of him. Heals all allies under continuous heal by 30% instead. Okay. A3, top bit's all the same, up until here. So he's going to remove block buffs and heal reduction, then place 2 continuous heals, and place block debuffs on allies for 2 turns. That's actually kind of a massive change, honestly. Block debuffs is a really good ability to have in your kit. And yeah, the fact that he's cleaning stuff out, then he's putting block debuffs out, it's actually a really good change. And then we've got his passive here. Each time continuous heal buff heals an ally, fills their turn meter, it's going to change to 10%. It's actually quite a significant change as well. He's obviously got the continuous heals here, so that's 2 going off here. So he's got 2 that he places, which is basically giving you a 20% turn meter fill on all allies that when they get their turn. It's pretty good. Pretty good, actually. That's the change. Okay. Oh, hold on a minute. If there are multiple champions... Oh, yeah, it's fine. So, don't know. 2 champion buffs... Both pretty good buffs, but do they come out the vault? That's the question here. Are they coming out the vault? Maybe with the Chimera coming out, some of these abilities become more relevant. We'll see. But yeah, there you go, guys. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.